Welcome, welcome, welcome from the battle to the glory. Listen, guys, we are here. It is Wednesday, hump day. And listen, we have some special guests here today. Before we get into our topic, we want to introduce our guest and ask them how was their day, how is things going, a little bit about themselves. And she just popped in. All righty. Yes, right on time. Yes, we are here. Yes, we are here, guys. And listen, I am getting ready to land this plane with our guest. And I am so pleased and blessed to have them here with us. Oh man, it's getting ready to be a ride. So hopefully, guys, you got your tea, your coffee. Get ready because it is going to be a great time here from the battles of the glory. And so, without a further ado, I'm going to introduce our first guest. Dr. Tanya. Dr. Tanya? Am I saying that correctly?
No, Toya.
Toya? Oh,
Yes.
thank you for the correction, Lady T. So nice of you to correct me. Lady T. Yes, can you tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into this topic?
Yes, I am Dr. Toya. Dr. T, as most people call me. I am a three-time author. I am a breast cancer overcomer. I am a certified Christian counselor. I'm also the executive producer of Kitchen Conversations with my co-host, Sarah. All I do is win Osby. And we do it every first and third Thursdays of the month. We give you biblical recipes for living a kingdom lifestyle. So that's me in a nutshell.
Oh, wonderful. And Sarah, how about yourself? Is she tapped in? Oh,
I
can
think
she? Can
she
you
said
hear us?
she said she can't hear.
Oh,
Oh, you can hear us, Sarah? Hold on. Let's get it. Let's get her in there.
She's on mute.
No, yeah, she's on mute. She got to unmute herself. Sarah, you have to unmute yourself.
Uh-oh. That's why you come in 15 minutes early.
Don't worry. Let me see. Let's see. Yeah, she said we came. Hold on.
I just told her log off and log back on.
Mm-hmm. I told her she has to unmute her mic because and I can't unmute her. She's is muted. So I just sent a private conversation. Okay. Did you add this to your platform as well?
I did. I just
Oh,
did it.
okay, beautiful, beautiful. We want everybody to be present in this conversation and definitely. Sarah, can you hear us now?
We can't hear you either.
No, we can't hear you now. Okay, she'll log back in. But yes, I am definitely excited for this conversation. I love Dr. Toya's message over there in the kitchen because before this was that was our topic. I mean, not topic. I titled "What's Cooking," and everybody used to ask me, "Oh, you a chef? What you talking about? What you cooking in the kitchen?" I said, "No, unfortunately, it's not about cooking."
Mhm.
Are you locked in now, Sarah?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
All right. I love your smile. That's what I'm talking about. See, I
Yeah,
love this.
thank you.
Yes, I love the energy already. See, I'm full of energy and I love it. I love your smile. Listen, tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into this conversation because I'm happy right now. I'm sad. I'm so go live.
Well, I am Sarah. All I do is win Osby. I am a mindset coach, a motivational speaker, a best selling author, and the producer of the history making 8 city book tour, Voices on Paper. I am also the co host of Kitchen Conversation with the esteemed Dr. Toya. and I am grateful to be here this evening. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Oh man, it's a pleasure. Oh, definitely. I mean, listen, I saw you guys on YouTube, and I was like, ooh, I just had to wait for the right time to tap in and ask you guys to be a part of this, because definitely when we talking, like I always tell my peoples that listen and support me, I said, listen, when we talking about God and these conversations, it excites me, it moves me, and I want to be able to move others into that direction, and not only into that direction, just to inspire them to change their mindset, renew their mind, and so that's the most important thing for me. I'm just want to inspire people to, renew that mind, because we live in last and evil peerless days, man. It's so important to have that relationship, because without that, man, listen, you'll be lost in this world, really lost. So let's go ahead. Lady T, how was your day?
My day was good. My day was wonderful. It was, I enjoyed it as much as I could. I had a lot of gratefulness in my heart. That's what it was. I woke up with gratefulness. I had some really great news. I mean, it was a good day. So
you getting married? Oh. I thought I was.
no, we're not even going there. I have no idea why you even did that. Always extra. Extra.
And listen, ladies, I gotta tell you, Lady T is the co-host, right? But we also are family. We cousins. We are really close. Outside of this podcast, so I could joke with her like that, and not she getting her feelings anything or in her bag, shall we say. I love her so much. I'm serious. I do. I really do. And it's a blessing to be able to have somebody on this stage, on this platform, that we can, have a conversation and not to get too personal with you guys, because our personal lives is our personal life. But the most important thing is that we share something in common, and that's the desire to live for God and do His will for our lives. And so that's the most important thing. And I think that's what keeps us driving. That's what keeps us doing this right now, because without Him, I don't think we'd be doing this right now.
That's the truth.
It's definitely a blessing to have her on this team. And without that, I don't know what we would be. And we're gonna go right into this topic: how to heal while still hurting. Oh my goodness. Who want to tackle it first? Who want to go in?
Oh, can I please?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I love it. That's what I'm talking about.
Come on, Sarah. That's what I'm talking about.
Come on, Sarah.
Yes, because you were already speaking my language. So as a mindset coach, my program is based on Romans 12:2. Right. So we're told not to conform to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of our mind. Right. So how to heal while still experiencing the pain, it is our mindset. It is our mindset. If you think about those things and meditate on those things that are hurting you, that is causing the pain, then you will hurt more and longer. But if you focus on Him who heals, Jehovah Rapha, and you begin to speak the word over yourself and encourage yourself, because this thing is one of the most powerful tools on our body that we use on a daily basis. Other than our mindset is our mouths, right? And so the power of life and death lies in our tongues. We can talk ourselves right through that pain as long as we're speaking His word over ourselves and keep ourselves covered with His word by staying in it, meditating in it day and night, as Joshua 1:8 tells us to do. And remembering Joshua 1:9, He's with us wherever we go. We have no need to fear. So I don't fear pain. I've had pain. My body had been riddled with pain. My doctor said that I was totally disabled. Totally physically disabled. And I'm chuckling now as I sit here before you because I was told like I could not sit more than 15 minutes at a time. And I'm just talking about physical pain right now. I couldn't stand more than 15 minutes at a time. And on the inside, I was dying spiritually.
Mm.
I was dying spiritually. But Elroy saw fit to come see about me. And in doing so, he encouraged me to speak those things that had been planted in me as a young child, which was his word.
Yeah.
And with that, I was able to overcome all of the pain, the physical and the spiritual pain and the emotional pain, because there was a lot. So you can make it through. And this is how you can do it. And there is an equation to help you through.
I agree.
It's a spiritual
I
equation.
know that's real.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dr.
Yes.
Toya?
Yeah, she just well, I was just piggybacking on what Sarah
Come on.
said. She just written a book. She just wrote a book of spiritual equations, talking about these different things. So also my book that I got out is talking about searching for love, a guide to healing the inner me. And a lot of times we have to understand, even while we're hurting, we have to acknowledge that thing, right? Sometimes we got to sit in our truth, and we got to sit in the thing that actually we just experience. You know, we got if we experience any type of trauma, any type of triggers, any type of setbacks, we have to sit in that thing and ask ourselves, ask God, really ask God, what am I to learn from this? You know, even through the pain, even through the hurt. While my father was transitioning, you know, I was having problems in my marriage. I was having problems on my job. But even through that, even through the hurt, because I was grieving, you know, not only was I grieving because I lost my father, but I was grieving because everything else. I was in the process of losing the job that I just had. I was in the process of losing my marriage because of whatever, you know, because of me being gone so much, because I was in my hometown, which is Memphis, all the time, you know, traveling back and forth, making sure my dad was good, making sure my mom was good. And even throughout that time, I had to go through, after that, I had to heal through that thing. I had to sit in it. I had to wallow in it. I had to ask God, what was it that I needed to learn, even through that hard time that I was going through, right? So it's even, we have to understand that triggers and traumas happens in our life. Like we're over 40, most of us, right? We're over 40.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of times that we've had relationship traumas, we've had traumas in childhood traumas, triggers. And if we don't deal with that, if we don't sit in it and acknowledge those things, they always come back up in a different face, right? It's a different person, but it's the same spirit that's operating in that person, because you're attracting that same spirit because you didn't get healed. You didn't deal with it. You didn't acknowledge it. You didn't sit in it. You just put it in the back of your mind, because I used to do that a lot. Out of sight, out of mind. As long as I didn't see it, as long as I didn't confront it, if I walked away from Jim Bob and he didn't know that he hurt me, I'm not hurt. I'm healed, right? You don't have to know that I'm hurting. But I had to tell the truth. I had to sit in that thing and be truthful with myself and transparent with myself in order to heal.
Yes.
Lady T.
Yeah, I'm so right there with both of you ladies. So you kind of flow right into it, because it's acknowledging the pain and saying I feel it, and taking the gentle steps to move towards the healing. We don't do that, and we need to be more gentle with ourselves and say, this happened to me. I have to feel this. I have to acknowledge that feeling hurt me, and I went through trauma. Don't push it to the side. Look at it as I went through that. But God kept me, and here I am today. I have to make a choice. Choose you this day whom you will serve, and you serve a mighty God. So we have to have it in the mind Sarah, as you said, the mind, it starts right there. If your heart is willing and it's soft enough and not hard, and you don't want to, go through the pain anymore, so you let your heart just soften up a little bit, the mind will start to change and want God to just, bring a revelation and transformation. It's a beautiful thing of healing, but we have to be gentle to ourselves and, acknowledging it in a beautiful way of gentleness is what we need to do. We have to have compassion for every situation we go through, even when it hurts, because it's a time of just going through a suffering and pain, but it is to transform us into even greater. We just don't see it. We don't know it right at that moment. So beautiful. I loved how it flowed. That was so beautiful.
Well, I'm just going to just add to what you guys said because it all was beautiful. The one thing I always say when you're trying to heal is definitely acknowledgement. You have to acknowledge that there is an issue that you need to fix. And I always say to most people now, I'm starting to say this now, and I know it's true. It's a symbolization of what the word says. The eyes and the ears are the gateway to your heart. So the things that you listen to, the things that you watch are important, though that is your spiritual food. So the things that you listen to, when you're hurt, that's the process. It begins to work on your heart. When the things that you're watching and the conversation that you're enduring, you're indulging in, it begins to work at your heart, because someone that you're talking to, God will use them to open up your heart and say, listen, this is what you need. Not what you want. This is what you need. And those are the conversations that you have, that God will use that individual to open up your heart to receive, like, this is the time that you're going to go through something and I'm going to bring you out. But you have to be willing to hear. Not only see, you have to hear, because you have to know God's voice. How do we know God's voice? Even in the midst of our pain. And that's the key. Knowing and recognizing the pain and hurt that you have been through, that now, God, I want you to heal me. I want you to renew my mind. I want you to take my pain away. Because guess what? We talk about faith without works is dead. Guess what? You can pray for something and don't do what you're supposed to do. God says you haven't done everything you need to do so you can be healed and renewed. You have to do the work. That's where the renewal becomes, because you have to acknowledge it. And just to give you an example of what I'm saying, the dark place I was in when I was going through my divorce, listen, nobody was there but God. When I was getting drunk and sleeping in my car, and nobody was there but God. God kept me. But guess what? Each time that I was drunk, guess what? God was there. God said, oh, I'm going to put a sleep on you. You're not going to kill nobody. You're not going to kill yourself, because I have a work for you. And so in the process of me, and that's just a little bit of my testimony, is because guess what? I can speak about healing and still hurting, because I still love the person, but knowing that it was never going to be back. I was never going back. You know what I'm saying? Because too much was done on my part. Now, I won't even say what I always talk about it, because guess what? That was my turning point of me really listening to God. And so how did I go through that? Listen, what kept me is listening to gospel, watching all the Christian things that I needed to, and going out to men's ministry, prayer, different places, and God using those people and just praying over me, the people that I didn't even know, and then I never seen them again. And so God used them at the particular time to pray over me, talk with me, encourage me, and I moved on. It was just a season in my life where God said, I need more from you. I want you to dedicate more. And so that's what we have to do. Most people that I feel like when they're in there hurting, they're hurt. They hurt so much they really don't listen and hear God, because they're not open to receive what He has for them. And I think that's also a process. You got to be ready and willing and obedient to the word of God. You can't say, well, I'm gonna do this and then tomorrow I do that. No, listen, that's part of your healing, is being obedient to the word of God, being obedient to what it is that you need to do. And so, that's just a little bit, I'm not going to take up the time, because I got the superstars here right now. But that's just a little bit. That's
I receive it. But listen, I was just writing down so I won't forget what I was saying, because you're saying so many good things, good nuggets. But I tell my daughter is 29, she stays in Nashville, and I tell her and my husband, they'll tell you all the time, I'll tell them, you need to pay attention what goes in your ear gates and what goes in your eye gates, right? We're talking about these different movies that's out, Thinners and Witchcraft and all of these different hoodoo and voodoo movies. You got to be careful what you are watching, because you don't want to open the door up for the enemy, right? You might have an access point that the enemy is using. Sorry, I had to break out the fan. You know where them fans at?
Oh Lord, what Lord? Hey.
I'm having one of my personal summers, and
I know that's real. Lord
Jesus, pray for me here. But that's a seed that the enemy uses, just to have access to him. We have to understand that we give the enemy access to us by different things that we do, different things that we say. A lot of times we have to, especially when we're going through healing, we concentrate on our pain, right? We spend a whole bunch of time concentrating on the pain that we're feeling instead of the prophecy of the word and speaking the word over our life, right? We already know that, we're fearfully and wonderfully made, even though that joker might make you feel like you 2 feet from the ground, right? But when you start concentrating on the word of God, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am the apple of his eye. I am anointed. I am appointed. God is my healer. God is my savior. God is my shelter. He that dwells in the secret place of the Most High God shall hide under the shadow. God, hide me under your shadow at this point, right? I'm no good for anybody right now because I'm in my feelings. Be real with God, and it's okay. It's okay to be real with him. He already know anyway. So why we try to fake the funk? Why we try to not be 100 with God? Because God already know. God already know the number of hairs on your head. So we just need to understand, even when we go through healing, and it's okay. Even when we're hurting and healing, it's okay to sit in that and feel that pain. And it's okay to say, I'm hurting, right? I feel this kind of way. I feel like you mistreated me. That person mistreated me. When I was going through what I was going through, I was in my prayer closet and I was going in like, you doing that. I was doing all of that with God, and God was like, hold up. Now let me deal with you. I did all of that, God, but I'm the apple of your eye. I'm your daughter. I'm all of this. And he said, oh yeah, you are. But let me deal with what you did. So you don't realize what you do, even though that person is wrong too, right? But this is what you did. And God said, no, I didn't tell you to do it like that. So he deals with you even in the middle of your pain to cause you to understand it, because he chastens who he loves, right? That's the Bible says. He chastens who he loves. So he's going to tell you what you did wrong too. Mm-hmm. Even in the middle of your hurting, even in the middle of your pain, he's going to get you right too. He's going to get you told. And he's going to let you know, hey, he did this, but you doing this too.
Yes. Toya, as she was speaking, she brought to my remembrance really quick a situation with my husband and I was within our first year of marriage. I've been widowed for 22 years now, but in our first year of marriage. And I remember, and I was still pretty much a babe in Christ at that time. And so my prayer was, Lord, change him. It was just this one thing that was just irking me. And I said, change him. And God said, no, you change. And I was, oh my gosh, but Lord, I pray, I worship, I'm in church every Sunday. He said, no, you change. But let me tell you how good God is. He allowed me to see that thing so quick, because the moment that I changed, the thing in me that kept pointing out, oh, you doing this. Yeah, as soon as I changed, the whole situation changed. And so as I tell people on a regular basis, if you transform your mindset, you will change your life. And I am living proof of that in more than one way. Definitely. I am living proof of that.
I am too. I'm a witness to that too. I can contest to that. I am definitely, when you, like you said, when you renew your mind, listen, Trust
And
me.
it's,
If you
it's a
don't,
daily thing too. You can't just renew your mind just one time.
it's a, oh man,
Oh, yeah.
Constantly.
telling you constantly.
Yes.
You know, I tell Lady T all the time. You know, when I look, my job, my career is my test because I am tested every day at my job. Why? Because you know, when they see that you're standing for Christ, listen, you got eyes on you all the time,
Mhm,
every day,
mhm.
every minute. So the things that I do, it has to be in alignment of what God
Yes.
wants for me, because guess what? The people that's watching, they say, listen, first thing I step out of line, they right there checking me, saying, you what? You a man of God, you doing this? I listen, I have, and Lady T noticed the truth. I have just yelled, made a guy feel so bad. You know what? Everybody came to me and said, yo, you a man of God. I'm gonna get on your podcast and I'm gonna tell you how you talking to this man. So I had to go and humble myself, apologize to him, and say I should never talk to you like that. But okay, I accept that, because you know what? All it did was make me better and sharpen me. And it got me to the point where I have to always watch how I talk to people, how I present it, my delivery. What they always say is, even in therapy, my therapist used to say, listen, your delivery, you got to make sure your delivery is on point, because if it's not, you could turn somebody away. Not turn away from Christ, but turn them away because I might be a little too aggressive. I might be too happy and excited and all over them. No, you got to read the person, just like you have to read the room. And so I'm in that retrospect, I was learning how to do that, learning how to navigate with different people on different levels. And so, you know, I'm always, look, they always looking at me, and I'm hey, listen, I ain't no easy cookie either. So I'm still working. I'm not.
You don't look like you know easy cookie either.
Nah.
Just let you know.
But
something else with yourself.
But you know what though? I can tell you this though. I'm not an easy cookie, but I can tell you this. They look. I'm gonna share something with y'all. I'm very transparent. Look, when I've been at my job 18 years, right? And listen, I will never forget this. He's gone now. He had passed. The guy said, Dennis, when you first came in the kitchen, I was scared of you. I was 30 years old. I'm 48 now. So he said, I was scared of you. I said, why? He said, yo, you just came with this demeanor. You beat everybody up. He said, but when I got to know you, he's like, you like a big teddy bear. You're not going to hurt nobody. I said, yeah, that's about it. I wasn't fighting. I wasn't talking about I'll do something to you. I was just like,
No, I don't know. Let me ask Lady T, because I think you see a big teddy bear, Lady T.
yeah, I'm a big
He's a bulldog too. So
Bulldog,
yeah.
right, yeah. I know. Yeah.
Love.
Something else.
Yes, but you know what? It's all love, like for real. Like that energy that I have, it's like, yo, you gotta be in peace. You gotta be in love. You know what I'm saying? Just let's love. I didn't met so many people, and like I told you, that's what I want. I told them I want to be contagious. Contagious, not in a disease way, in a contagious in where, like, yo, Chef Dennis gotta come over. We gonna have some fun. We gonna have a good time. You know what I'm saying? Love it. If it's talking about the word, we're gonna have a good time. If it's watching a movie, if it's playing the games, it's just good time. We gotta live on this earth. Listen, I want positivity and all love. That's it. I know we're gonna have some rough times, but listen, let's go through the rough times together. You know what I mean? We don't gotta be all in our sorrows and misery and not having a good time. We got to do it together. That's the life that I try to live. That's what he poured there, he poured in my life. I didn't have no big story. Do I have a testimony? Yes, I do have a testimony. I don't share it as much, only when God lead me to share it. But that's why I'm here today, just doing this, because I love it. But I meet different people and we share stories. That's why I had to change the title from the battle to the glory, because that's what it truly is. You have a story that people need to hear. You have some type of, it's not about being in your business. It's about, listen, somebody out there hurting.
Mhm.
Somebody needs this. I always say, the people who have ears, let them hear. The people who have eyes, let them see. Because that's what it is. That's what it's about. You got all the stuff that's going on social media. No, we here talking about good, positive, wholesome conversation. That's what we talking about.
Yeah.
Now the Bible speaks about. I was just writing it down when you said you got to tell it, right? You are overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of your testimony, right?
Yes.
You can't have no testimony if you keep holding it in. How's somebody gonna be? How are you gonna help somebody overcome?
Mm-hmm.
You can't. I mean, we've all lived life and been through things, and we all have a testimony. But we have to understand that we have to learn to release that testimony and use it in wisdom, right? You can't release your testimony to everybody because everybody can't handle your testimony. So you got to use wisdom when you release your testimony, even while you're going through hurt. You know, that's a testimony. You know, even when you go through the storm, you in this storm, you in a storm of hurting, or you know, going through a divorce, or you know, breaking up with your boo thing, your baby daddy, or whatever you want to call it. So, but even throughout the storm, God will give you peace if you allow Him to give you peace in the midst of that storm. But you have to understand, you have to relinquish control. Because if you don't relinquish control, even while you're going through that storm, all you're going to do is spin your wheels, and you're going to stay right where you are, and you're not going to heal, and you're going to become bitter. You're going to become abusive. You're going to become angry. You're going to become all of these different things, these negative things, which is not the attributes of God, right? And you're going to start thinking negative. You're going to change. You're changing your mindset because you're thinking negative. But if you start thinking positive and start asking God to release you and heal you from the inside out, right? It's not just about this exterior. It's about the inner me, because we always blame the enemy, and it's not always the enemy. Sometimes it's the inner me, because we choose to hold on to stuff, and it started detoxifying. It started toxifying our bodies and making us sick with disease. So what means that your body is not at ease, because we hold on and make toxins form in our body. So all these, bitterness, and we take rejection, and some people use rejection as fuel, and that's good. That's a good thing. Some people take rejection and they hold it in, which that causes toxins in your body, and would become bitter. So I just want to say that.
No, this is great. Lady T.
Yes.
You wanted to say something? Look, you wanted to say something.
Well, I mean, I was listening to everybody, and I kind of remember, I don't write down everything, but I remember about the renewing of your mind. And I was thinking about how, so a little bit about myself. I basically talk to everyone in a way where I try to be very basic with my words. And so when I hear renewing of the mind, I am thinking of how I would express it to somebody. And I will say to, anybody, I'll just think about your thoughts. Renewing your mind basically means you need to be aware of your mind and your thoughts. And thinking about your thoughts means that you are paying attention to what is being said in the mind. Is it real? Is it true? And follow through on it. Take some time to let God reveal Himself through asking questions. Why do I think that way? Why is this happening to me? It's a renewing of the mind. Is really truly getting into the inside of yourself, in your mind, and you are asking God to reveal truth. And I think that is the way I speak to people. And I feel like we all need to do for one another, to tell others how to, we say renewing of the mind, but we need to express it in a way where they can understand it, and understand it in a way that they can take it home with them and start doing the action of thinking about what they're thinking about. Because we are always saying things, saying words, so much information is going out. We don't take time to step back and have our peace, where you don't have nothing around you, and you let God close your eyes. And that meditation, somebody brought up meditation, close your eyes and have that meditation of just trying to get connected. We don't do none of that because we're looking outside of ourselves. We're looking outside for an answer. And that's not the way to do it. We talk these things about the Bible, but we are so lost as people. You know, we need to do something that is so grand to have it a renewing of the mind of the collective of people to really see change. And how do we get there? You know, how do we get there? These conversations are great. I love this. So, you know, hopefully it connects to somebody. But when we have these conversations, I truly want it in a way where the way I speak. I love that you ladies come on here and you speak the word. It's in you. You know, you have it in your heart. It's on your mouth. It's on your tongue. You can say it. That is also me, but not me. You know, I grew up in the church, and my parents are pastors. My sister is a pastor. I come from that, but I have gone into the world more. I'm in the world, not of the world, but I've gone into the world to speak differently for all languages. So saying things differently for me has brought me into a real bare minimum, like, you know, I'm being elementary school type. You know, I'm trying to speak to every language or every person, every, you know, age, every, you know, I'm trying. This is my effort, but God knows my heart. And so I feel like when we have these conversations and we bring the Bible, you ladies and y'all bringing all this great word, and me being so basic and elementary, I feel it's a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? So I really feel like our renewing of the mind is having people like us have these conversations and bring these topics up, because I mean, we can touch people in a way where it helps some way, somehow. And we can talk about different conversations, different topics all the time. But it's just, you know, this is how we renew our mind daily too. So that's how I'm basically getting to that point.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. That is absolutely true. It's part of the reason why, um, as Toya said, I recently released a book, Spiritual Equations, and that book is in layman terms. And that's what it is in layman terms. For example, one of the equations, the very first equation that was given to me by the Holy Spirit, and that is how I received them, was no discipline plus no discernment plus no boundaries equals destruction. Now, with that, each one of those words, each statement is broken down in layman terms. So you know what discipline is, you know what discernment is, you know what boundaries are, and you know what destruction is. Each thing is broken down. And if I could say anything, I would encourage people to go get this book, to download it for free on Kindle. It'll cost you nothing on Kindle. Okay, so I'm not telling you so you can just go buy a hard copy and I get some money. No, download it for free and read it and see if it doesn't bless your life. See if it doesn't help you in transforming your mindset and changing your life, because it absolutely will, for the very reason that you were saying, Ms. T, because it speaks in layman terms. I was a person that, as a young person reading the Bible, I would read it, but I didn't understand, because some of the language that was used, some of the words, they were beyond me at the time, and I just didn't understand. And at that time in my life, I didn't have anyone explaining to me the things of the Bible in detail, right? So I kind of was left to my own devices at that time, and it showed. I'll just say that, and it showed, okay? And so, but coming into the understanding that, yes, there's all these words, but this is really what it means. This is what it means, you know? And in renewing my mindset, I began to understand that, look at me. I've been through so many things in my life. So a trigger warning, I'm going to say right now at this point, okay? Trigger warning. I've been molested. I've been raped. I've been homeless. I lost my husband. I've lost babies. You understand? I've been through a lot. But can I tell you how I'm so grateful that I don't look like what I've been through, because his grace covered my scars.
Come on.
Mercy
Bring it in.
erased the evidence, and his favor flipped my outcome.
Mhm.
That is how layman it gets. And that is in the book, because that is what happened. His mercy, because he cared so much. I did not get what I deserved. It erased the evidence. What? And all those scars, those things that when I was coming up, we used to call battle wounds. I don't have those. They're not evident to you because of his grace. Because of his grace. So I love the way that you spoke about it and put it in such a way that a third grader could understand.
That's right.
Yes, because and that's the way that we need to be able to
That's
make
right.
it, so that
That's
a third
right.
grader can understand. A first grader, they should be able to understand. It
Thank
should not escape them because we're using all of these big words and things like that, you know. So even when talking about transforming your mindset, and I'm telling a person, it's just changing what you said, the way that you think and the way that you perceive things. It is. And you do that by reading the word of God, by going before his face, praying and communicating with him on a daily basis. Just as much as you want to talk to that bestie every day, you know? Yeah. And so, and get the tea. Only God gave me a new thing for tea as well. It's not gossip. And you can catch the segment on Kitchen Conversation. But it stands for truth, evidence, and action. What's the truth of the matter? What evidence do you have? And what action do you need to take? Because faith without works is dead. That means you have to do a thing. You have to do something. He's not a magician. This is not magic. You have to do something.
Do something.
If you say you believe him, then act like it. If you say you trust him, then act like it. How do you move when you're with someone that you trust? I get real big and bad. You know, I remember back in the day, you know, you be around some people, you big and bad, you know, you bout it, right?
You got it
That adversary, that's right. When that adversary come for me, I'm like, let me tell you something. Do you know who my father is? You better bag back. Do you know who my father is? I got access to all of heaven. Who you think you messing with? I'm a child of the one and true living God. You know why all I do is win? Because of him. There is no failure in him. So I could never lose. What you thought? I could never lose.
Oh, we on fire right
Ever.
now.
No
I
matter
love it.
what it looks like.
Right.
Never lose.
See, you about to stir me up. You about to get me going, man. Let me.
Come on, stir up the gift.
Listen.
About to get me going. For real. I'm serious because listen, I like that type of talk. I love it. I love it. And Lady T, no, I love that type of talk because I get rammed up because you know what? At the end of the day, that's the same thing with me. Like, listen, I've been through some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I'm now. Doctor, she over here said you gotta tell your testimony. So now I gotta pour out my testimony. Let me bring something out because I'm about to go in right now.
Wait a minute before you start going in, because I know you finna go in. Listen, Lady T, I just want to tell you.
Oh, I love it.
Now, you already got got God in you. You already got the word in you. Everybody's not called to pulpit ministry.
That's right.
People are called to the marketplace. We are called to dominate the 7 mountains.
That's right.
Everybody's not a preacher that's supposed to be in that pulpit.
That's right.
Your pulpit is maybe your job, maybe your business. You transforming lives even in that, right? I was thinking about 2 Peter, and when we were talking about going through healing and going through trials, after you have suffered, I say this a lot, after you have suffered a little while, the 8th part of that shows me that even after you suffer for a little while, that your suffering has an expiration date. So even in that, to trust God, this is going to be over soon, right? Yes. But I'm going back to you, Lady T, but you have the anointing to bring people to Christ, even in elementary stage.
Thank you.
Okay? Do not dummy down what you're doing, because a lot of people do not understand this, thou, this, though, the. all this in the
Yeah.
Bible, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
need to chew the word of God. And, you know, when we have babies, and you have children, right?
Yes.
When we have babies, when they start eating food, table food, we grind it up, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Grind it up. We mix it with some cornbread. I don't know. I'm from Tennessee, so I'm a little country. So we get the little green juice, right? We make a little cornbread. We mix it up in there. We make it a little meal for them, and we take that and we put it in their mouth, right? So that's the same thing you're doing with the word of God for those that are following you. Those that are following you are called to the sound that comes out of your mouth, right? So don't dummy down what you're doing, because what you're doing is an amazing thing. Somebody needs your voice. Somebody needs your presence. Somebody needs your assertiveness. Sometimes they need your what's the word I'm trying to think? It's instant statement, but you seem to be so assertive and just what you say is what you say. Okay. What you say is what you see is what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fake the funk with you. I'm not gonna do what you see is what you get. And a lot of people need that in this day and age. They always talk about, I want people to be 100 with me. I don't want no fakers. I don't want no frauds. Yeah, that's what you are. So
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I know that's right. Woo! Look, listen. So I just want to share this with you. You know, it's close to my heart. My dad, I was in my first marriage, right? And so I was had the career, getting the money, everything, right? So I was blowing up. So my dad was like, I had bought a new car, got got new wife, whole thing, new house, the whole nine, right? So my dad was like, can I borrow your car? I was like, nah, you can't use my car. I was okay. Week later passed, I get into a car accident. Now, the car accident I got in, I dropped my past wife, dropped her off, dropped my kids off. I fell asleep behind the wheel. See how my hand on my chest? I'm serious. There's no exaggeration. Ran into a dumpster. Called on Jesus. Look, when I took my thumb off, I was able to breathe. I can see, I can hear the people saying, "You okay?" I could not say nothing, but all I can do is think about Jesus. So I called him. After I took my thumb off my chest, I was able to breathe. Listen, no limbs was broken, no nothing. Only thing I had was a gash. If y'all saw my car, you were like, how did you walk out of that car? There was something in the dumpster that went into my dashboard. It punctured the whole dashboard. It punctured it, and it did not do nothing but damage my knee. I had to get stitches. That was it. But the moment I called on Jesus, only thing, they put me in the ambulance. I called my dad. It's like, you got anybody to call you? I called my dad. Yo, my dad dropped everything that he was doing. Came to the hospital. I was okay. But you know, that's one of my testimonies, because what it taught me was, you know what, no matter what, my parents are always going to be there. And it allowed me to see that I wasn't humble. So God said, okay, go to my job. The people on my job, they humbled me. They's like, listen, you can't do this. They was like, you can't do this. I'm like, what you mean I can't do this? So I realized that I had to learn how to be humble. So through my father experience, that car accident allowed me to see the mistakes that I made in life at that point, that I needed to be humble. And because until I became humble, I moved up at my job, and I had to bite my tongue. I couldn't say nothing. Even when they got in my face and said something, I couldn't. I had to be humble. So my it's like my tongue was silenced. I couldn't do nothing. And now I am at a place where I'm able to do that. You know, be able to be humble enough to, when things are not what it seems to be, I can be quiet. I can be like, walk away. And I told you, I ain't no easy cookie. I had to walk away. I got to put my head down, call me punk, whatever. I got to be able to do that. And I was able to do that. And that was a big pivotal point in my life. it wasn't a tragedy that changed my life to serve God. I was always in church. I was always serving God. Sometimes people came to see me, and it was at that point, it was like a show, me shouting and just, but it was always in my heart to serve God. And I say shouting because that's what I used to do, just shout and just, oh God, call out Jesus' name. But then when I got that real personal relationship, I understood what it is to really serve God, to really, lay down at his feet and just say, look, I want you. I want nothing but you. I surrender all. I surrender everything, because there were so many other things. I can go deeper than that, but that's just one, because to really surrender to God, it changes your mindset. It changes your posture. It changes everything that you want to do. You want to live for Christ. You want to be holy. You want to be righteous. That's part of the renewing of your mind, and studying the word to show yourself approved. These are the things I had to do to be at the place I am, to be able to talk to people and love on them, and them loving on me. You want to pour into people's lives.
Mhm.
That's joy to me. Not happiness. That's joy. Joy is a lifetime. Happiness is temporary. You could be happy 1 minute and then you can be sad the next. But joy is forever. Once you got that inside of you, it just, listen, that's where, when you're going through bereavement, that's your joy. You be like, you know what, Lord, you're going to bring me through. And that's where you start, it just start bubbling and start overspilling, and everything that you do, everything that you touch, it's just coming out. You're like, why is this guy always happy? Even though he just lost such and such, he's always still happy. Listen, that's the joy that you have. When you start to think about what God has done for you, brought you out, you just start sitting here and say, Lord, I love you. I praise you. I glorify you. And you just start just giving him praise anytime. And, that's the joy of the Lord. And so that's just one of my, my testimonies. I just stopped sharing, but, I had to bring that out because doctor over here, it's like she gave me a whooping.
Ah. Not a whooping, huh?
Yeah. Now, look, I'm from old school. You gave me a whooping.
A whooping, yes. Old school. I want to. I do want to just briefly share that part of the surrender and the submission is having a yet, understanding the yet, right? So the yet, the power of yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So God gave me the acronym for yet right before a launch for my mindset coaching program. And that acronym is this: yield, expect, and trust. Yield to God's timing and plan. Expect for his promises to be fulfilled, and trust that he is working all things for your good. Have a yet mindset. Get a yet in your spirit.
Love it.
A yet.
I love it. Lady T, you gotta go check them out on Kitchen
Definitely.
Conversations. You definitely gotta see them. I'll be seeing them up there. I said, Lord, but doctor, yes, guys, I'm gonna call her doctor because
That's right.
woo, she on fire. I look at some of her shows. I'm trying to tell you. That's why I was like, yes, she coming over here. But look, no, you talk about me, and I'm about to get. Listen, please tell them your story, because I read your story and I was like, whoa. You look. I'm married, happily married. But what I'm about to say, I got to say that because listen, I seen the transformation. You are a beautiful woman, and I say that with respect because I don't want to say what it is, but you have a story, and I would love for you to tell them just a little bit of your story because it is truly outstanding. It is truly something that God is definitely going to get the glory for. So please don't be shy. Please tell them, because I was blown away. I was like, hold up, wait a minute. No way. God, you are great. You are awesome. Please.
Well, the story that I believe you're talking about is that I'm a breast cancer overcomer.
Yes.
Yes. So I was diagnosed in 2014 of triple negative breast cancer. Going back, before I was diagnosed, I was 38 years old. I didn't, have any type of, um, you know, conditions or pains or anything like that. Any symptoms? That's what I want to say. Any symptoms of nothing that was wrong with me. I was pretty much healthy. Everything. I just had a dream. And when I had this dream, I was sitting in a doctor's office. This is all in my book. I was sitting in the doctor's office, and in the dream, it said that you have cancer. And I remember in the dream asking the doctor, well, what stage is it? And it said stage 2. So I woke up and immediately I'm thinking, because everybody tells you when you dream something and you wake up, you're in fear, it's from the enemy. Okay, so I'm like, okay, I rebuke this dream. It can't be from God. I wake up in a panic and heart all palpitations and all of that stuff. So it got to be from the enemy. So I started rebuking the dream. So I go on about my life, and keep on going. And so about a month or so later, I have the dream again. I'm like, okay, God, what is this dream? And I get up, start rebuking it again. God said, you can't rebuke me. And I was like, well, God, wait a minute. Like, this from you? Like, how you going to let me go through this? And at that time, my children my oldest was 17. My two youngest was like 4 and 5, 5 and 6 or something like that. They were young. They were in elementary school. And so I'm like, God, how am I go through this? I still got to raise my baby. My daughter's going to graduate. How am I go through this? He said, it's going to be for my glory. I wish I could show you my book because I put it on the back of my book. It's going to be for my glory. So, make a long story short, I went to get a I went to call the doctor. I called the doctor and he did a self-exam on me. And he told me that it was nothing wrong with me, that if it was cancer, it just would not hurt. So he said, I'm just going to wait 6 months and see you back. If you're still having the same type of, little pains in your breast, then we'll send you on for a mammogram. Because if it's cancer, it just does not hurt. And so I'm looking at him like, because I'm still thinking about this dream that I had, right? So he said, well, if it make you feel better, I'm going to send you on to get a mammogram. But I'm 100% sure that it's not cancer. It's the doctor. So he sent me on to the mammogram. I get a mammogram. I'm there at 8 o'clock in the morning. And I'm going back there. And so I get back out in the waiting room. I'm seeing everybody leave and I'm still sitting there. And I'm like, why is everybody leaving? So they waited till everybody left, called me back. And I went back there, saw a picture of my right breast and my left breast. And they said, you see the difference? And in my right breast, it was a big white mass in my breast. And she said, I don't know who or what brought you into this office, but it had to be God, because you would have never found that mass until it was too late. Because it was in the lower quadrant of my breast. I would have never felt a lump until it was too late. So with that dream and being, faithful to God and listening to God, in that dream saved my life. So I always tell people, this dream saved my life. Do you know dreams can save your life? Because this dream saved my life. I was treated with 6 months. I did 4 rounds of chemo, 22 rounds of radiation. In the beginning, it was supposed to be 16 rounds of chemo because I was diagnosed with an aggressive form of cancer where most African-American women do succumb to, which is triple negative breast cancer. But God spared my life. And so now I'm just advocating for everybody. So my chemo was cut in half. I did 4 rounds of chemo, which was some strong chemo. And then I did, it started from 33 rounds to 21 rounds of radiation. And so this is my testimony. That's one of my testimonies.
Yeah, it's definitely powerful.
Well,
Definitely. Healing. Oof. Man, I tell you, man, look, when I was reading her on her page in the kitchen conversation, I said, no way, no. not her, not doctor. Because
Mhm.
you got to listen. I mean, I really when I talked to you, I said let me go and because I already subscribed to your guys' channel. I had already subscribed, and so and I'm gonna tell y'all something. Let me show you how God worked too. You know how I connect with you guys? Somebody else that you guys are connected to is connected to me, and y'all had did a show together. And I said,
Wow.
look how God works. And the person that y'all connect with, I'm close with. I was like, look at this. Y'all was
Wow.
on the stage together and everything. I was like, wow, look how God works. And that's what made me subscribe to your guys' channel, that you guys was on the show together. And I was like, yo, I know them. And I subscribed and I was like, wow, look how God works. It's definitely a divine connection. Always. I don't want nothing else. I mean,
Right.
if God put Lady T always if God do it, you gotta accept it. And so I say that so quietly, like, because I really don't want nothing negative, but sometimes God will put you in a place where he needs to use you there. And so it's
Mhm.
not going to always be positive. It's not going to always be easy. So the road is not going to always be easy. It's going to be rocky sometimes. But you guess what? Like Peter, you got to keep your eyes
On the
on the
prize.
prize. You cannot. You say, "Well, I thought you was going." No, you got to keep your eyes on Christ. You got to keep your eyes on the ball,
Yes.
on the dot, and the dot is
Mhm.
stay focused. So when the boat get rocky and the winds get blowing, no, you got to stay focused. You got to stay locked in. And sometimes it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be tough. And so
Mhm.
when the opportunity presents itself, I'll be ready. I'll be prepared because this is what we do here. Being prepared to be able to do those things because you got to be a tough
Yes.
cookie to get
Mhm.
out there in the world. Because now,
Yes.
Lady T don't, but I do. I'll be in some conversations. I don't do debating. I'm not gonna argue. If you don't understand what I'm saying and you're not willing to, and God already put in my heart, no, this person, and I move on. I'm
Mhm.
not here to divide. I'm not here to debate about what you believe. What I'm doing is to encourage you, not to do it my way, but do it to God way.
Well, the Bible speaks about not debating the word anyway.
Of course. And the moment I see it's a debate, I'm like, okay, I'm
Mhm.
not gonna be ignorant and not listen. I'm gonna listen, but then I'm gonna just walk right on out the door because it's useless. It's useless.
Mhm.
And the reason why I say that is because I'll share with you guys. I was in a conversation where there were people that did not believe in the Trinity because it did not say the word Trinity
Trinity.
in the Bible.
Mhm.
And I and
Mhm.
I explained to them in a way. They was like, "Oh, what do you mean?" They booted me out the room. I said, "Listen." I asked a question. I said, "Do you have a spirit? Do you have a soul? And it lives in the what?" And I said, "That's three in one, three entities in one." I, and they was like, "Oh, what?" They booted me out the room because they was like, "Oh, that don't make sense." I said, "Okay, cool." That was just do y'all feel like that was good enough? Well,
I
that
think
was
that was good. That
or
was
was it
really
too
good. I
deep?
like that. I'm
Yeah.
going to use that. I'm going to tell
Yeah.
you.
I
I'm
just
going to
I,
use
no,
that. So if
seriously,
you
I just
tune
asked them the
in
question.
to
They was
Kitchen
like,
Conversation and you hear it being said, I'm just saying right here, right now,
I,
I'll use that. I like it. Might
Yeah.
be in my next Tea Talk
I,
segment, but I like that.
yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
So the lady was like, "Oh, that doesn't make any sense." So I guess her I don't know what you call them, the person who's like monetizing. They booted me out the room. I said, "Okay." I still was,
Moderators.
yeah, the moderator. She booted me. I still was texting. I said, "Look, I didn't come here to argue. I just left you with a little something. That's it. Just think about that. If that can't uh shake your mind or give you some understanding," I said, "Okay, I got you." So, but that's what I be doing. Now I don't debate because debating it, what is it going to do? My opinion, your opinion, how you think and how you read it is yours. I mean,
Mhm.
if we on one accord and you don't understand what I'm saying, guess what? Something I'll say to you, be like, you know what? I know he believes the same thing I believe. But when the moment
Mhm.
you don't believe the same thing I believe, now it becomes a debate. It becomes an argument. Well, that's not what it says. Okay. Say. Let's move on.
I like when you said about divine connection. Can I tell you about divine connection? Uh, the esteemed Dr. Toya and I met on a social media audio app. Okay. We then physically connected about a year later in
Mhm.
Jacksonville, Florida, where we both were speakers and we were on panels. When we saw each other there, we reacted to one another like we were high school friends that hadn't seen each other in a long, long time. And it felt good, you know. And it would be about 2 to 3 weeks, maybe after that, that she asked me if I would co host Kitchen Conversations with her.
Mhm.
And that is a divine connection and appointment,
Yes,
you
it is.
know. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful, and I often tell people that God is the master of strategy. I could not have designed that. She could not have designed that. Like we just could not have. But God knew even before. I'm 55. And so before I was formed in my mother's womb, he knew that I would be co-hosting Kitchen Conversation with the esteemed Dr. Toya and have a segment called Tea
Yes.
Talk with Dr. Sarah. That's just how awesome he is. I just had to say that because,
I,
you know, I never miss an opportunity to brag on my God. So
I
I
know
just had
that's
to
real.
share.
I
That's right.
definitely know. Yes. Lady T, you got anything to say to us? You've been quiet over there.
I've been quiet because I'm listening. I'm enjoying the conversation. I love listening to these ladies. So I'm very quiet.
Oh man,
But I
listen,
love
man.
the story, how you guys came connected. It's beautiful. It
Mm-hmm.
really is. And it is divine. It is meant for y'all to be together. So it's beautiful.
Yeah, what meant to be for 6 months, she ain't left my side. Oh,
Yes,
we're gonna
Right.
try for 6 months and see.
Huh?
And so it's been almost 2 years. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, y'all been together for 2 years on the show?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Same thing with me and Lady T. Lady T shocked me. This is our second season. I love it. I love it. I love it. And
Yeah, but Kitchen Conversations been on. This will be the 5th year for Kitchen
oh
Conversations.
yeah, y'all ballers over there.
Yeah, I did it by myself for 3 years. So
Yeah.
yeah,
oh,
did it
okay.
by myself for 3 years.
Look, Lady T, look, God put it on my heart to ask Lady T. I was laying in the bed, and he was like, I call Lady. Well, I ain't call her Lady T, I call her T. He's like, call her. But I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, huh? We had went out. I was down where they live at. I was down there hanging out with them. We go out bowling and everything. We had a good time. We had a great conversation. I'm getting ready to start the podcast. Guy was like, I was laying in the bed. He said, call T. I was like, huh? What? Called her the next day. I said, listen, I'm just gonna be obedient. Listen, God was telling me that you gonna be the co-host. Would you be? First, I said you gonna be right, but then God was like, no. No, I'm being serious. I'm very transparent. He said, that's not how you gonna say it. So then I changed it up. I said, no, would you like to be the co-host of the show? She was like, yes. Just like that. I'm like, hey, no rebuttal, no nothing. She's like, yes. I was like, what? And listen, you got
But you know, it's Sarah, I'll
Yeah.
say for myself, for you mentioned surrender earlier. That's why he's bringing up the story, but I surrendered years ago, and my surrender was so beautiful how it all happened. It's a long story, but it was so beautiful, and my surrender was so genuine, and my heart was there, and I just said, I'll say yes, and I'll follow you wherever you take me, and I won't worry about nothing else. And I'm going to speak and say everything I'm supposed to say because I know you're with me, and I know you're going to say everything that I'm supposed to say, and I don't have to fear no evil. Like I just started that surrender. And so when he called me, I was like, in my mind, I was like, oh Lord, what?
Can
But
I
said yes.
tell you? Can I tell you it's another level of yes for you?
You said another level of yes?
It's another level of yes for you.
Okay.
Ooh, I love it. Go ahead.
Ooh.
It's another level of yes. God is asking you for. He already know you're gonna surrender. He's already know, but it's another level And don't be fearful for this next level. Okay, because the next level becomes different devils.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I love it.
Different disguises,
Y'all don't know why I'm
dress
saying
up
this.
differently.
Yes, you don't even know, because that's why I'm acting over here. I'm like a little big kid, because I know what you're talking about. It is. It's that when you know somebody, when you close to them, when somebody's speaking into their life, you get excited because it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. She don't she's powerful. She's strong. Sometimes she, say what she want to say, and that's how God want the strong ones. He don't want nobody weak, because it's a battle we in a battle, spiritual warfare.
But I got that humility that I'm working on. The humility part about me, I am really, trying to step back and let God do everything by just that surrender. You don't even have to worry. You just, get in the body and just say, all right, here I am today. We're about to do something. I have no idea what we're going to do. Yes. But I trust in you that you got me, right? That right there. And it's humility. It's humility, because you take a step back, you sit down in yourself and allow Spirit, God, to just let everything unfold so beautifully. And you have to behave a certain way. You got to talk a certain way. And that's humility. You sit in yourself and you just, be patient, not say things. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not perfect now.
Nobody is.
So far from it. But he's working with me.
I don't care what kind of title you have. They are not perfect. Okay. They are still a man. They're still a woman. They have their issues. They have their flaws. They just function in their flaws, in their inadequacies, and they lean not into their own understanding.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
In all of their ways, they acknowledge him. So
that's right. Come on.
Well, I live in Jersey, and where y'all live at right now?
I'm in Atlanta. I remember I told she's in New York.
I'm in New York.
Yeah, Syracuse.
Yes, Syracuse, New York.
That's why I work in Manhattan.
Okay.
Yeah, I drive there every day, 45 to 50 minutes.
Wow. God bless you. I understand. I'm from Long Island, so I understand the struggle. God bless you.
and I start work at 5 a.m. Start.
Jesus.
And I'm off at noon, so I get in there. I'm the first one in. First one.
And you know that you got that traffic.
Well, not 3 o'clock
coming home. That 12 p.m. traffic.
It's everybody on lunch. I'm going back to Jersey, so it's not really. It's traffic. Yeah, I'm heading out. It's traffic, but at 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Oh no, it's a madhouse. Man, I don't even stay after that. They be like, "You want to stay a little longer?" Nope, I'm out of here. See you later. I do not want that traffic. No problem. I thought New York was crazy. The traffic. Cali? Yes. No. Oh my goodness. There's nothing like Cali. I heard about Atlanta too.
Atlanta's bad too.
I know. I haven't been there yet, so I'm headed down that way. But
terrible.
I've been, and coming from the airport going to the hotel, I was like, "Oh, this is like New York City traffic."
Yeah, that's what I heard. I was like,
George Washington Bridge. Right
now. I said, "What?" And you don't go in the wrong time. Like even going down to DC. When I go to DC, I always travel early in the morning. I'm talking about like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm traveling down to DC, and that's like a 3-hour drive for me. I'm telling you, I don't want none of that PA and Delaware traffic. I beat it all. I'm all the way down there because I can't sit in traffic. I'm ready to relax. I'll fall asleep. Oh my goodness. So this is coming up on the end of the show, and listen, it was definitely a great conversation. We definitely gonna have you ladies back again. We are looking to travel down to Atlanta. Hopefully, Sarah, you'll be able to be with us, because we're going down there and we're going to, along I have to conversate with my co-host, Lady T. We have to orchestrate it. We were looking to do some shows, a show down in Atlanta in the studio. So I'm working on that.
Please
something.
let me know when. I would
Yes,
love
I
to
will.
be there.
I'm not a person who do things at the last minute. I have to notify and talk and communicate with Lady T, because guess what? If I don't, she will tell me, no, we're not going to do this because I didn't tell her at the appropriate time. So I definitely have to communicate it with her because she will tear me up. Yes, and I want to put a shout out to Perfect Alliance. We going to be looking to do some business with them. We're going to get some t-shirts and some hats and some other things out for the show. Some will we be giving for free, and then we'll be selling it all as well as too. I came on with this printing company today. I was getting my mother's hair done for her, and we getting ready to go to the graduation tomorrow. So I came across it, and the guy gave me his card, and so it's really close to my house. And I was like, yo, let me do some business with this guy. So he subscribed to the channel, and I said, yeah, I'll put it out there in the atmosphere. Perfectly Aligned. That's the name of the business. It's a custom printed and apparel clothing store. They do prints and all, t-shirts, hats, jackets. So we definitely gonna put them on a map. We definitely gonna order some stuff for them. I just want to let them know that we doing that. And if you're in the Linden, New Jersey area, go check them out. I will put the address on my page so you guys can go and check it out if you're in the area. Also, make sure you go to Kitchen Conversation Podcast. Listen, it's over there. Let me make sure. Let me see. Let me see if I can put this in the chat, because you guys got to go over there and check them out, because they are definitely. Let me put this in the chat. It's Kitchen. What is it?
Kitchen Conversation Podcast with Dr. Toy.
Is that how they look it up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me put that in. Put that in there.
What type of doctor are you? Are you have a theology?
Yeah, listen, I'm gonna do what I do. My disclaimer.
Oh.
I am not a medical doctor.
PhD, a researcher, still.
That's my disclaimer that I do it every time. So I'm not a medical doctor, but I do have a doctorate in ministry.
Ministry. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
okay.
I'm a doctor
Love that.
of ministry. Yeah.
Love it. Oh, well, I've had this, great conversation with you ladies, and it's really good. I'm so glad that you came on today. I'm loving our conversation. I feel like we can have more great conversations in the future. So I do hope that we can connect again.
Absolutely.
We definitely will,
Absolutely.
It is definitely and you know what, at the end of the day, this is truly and I want to say this to you ladies, for me and Lady T, I'm saying for myself, she has a great job. I have a great career. This is not for fame for me. And I'm pretty sure I can speak for herself. This is definitely not for fame. Whatever God has for it at this time and this season is going to be. We're going to walk in it. We're not looking for, and I tell people this all the time, but I know she said, don't say that. But God has blessed me financially. So this ain't for money for me. You know what I'm saying? It's to get the word out, the message, have a conversation with people, and just indulging in conversations like this, it inspired people. Mm-hmm. We want to be encouraging, loving, and laughter at the same time. That's why, Sarah, I love your smile. You came in, you got me fired up. I was trying to hold it back, nigga. I was like, wow, man. Your smile, man. It was like doing everything for me. I was like, I was ready to take my jacket off, get excited. You came in with this. See, look, look, that's how I be. When you come in the room with a smile like that, I'll be like, hey, we in the right party right now. The right party.
Party.
I'm telling you, right party. And that's the energy that I come with. That's the energy that I love. I want to see people smiling.
Mm-hmm.
And look, you got a frown. Look, you got a frown on your face. I'm like, listen, you alive. You woke up this morning. How you gonna be
in your body?
Hey, listen, you able to use your limbs? Nah, stop. Oh, well, you don't know how to run. Hey, you woke up this morning. You got a job. You at your job.
Mm-hmm.
You got money in your pocket. Hey, it's people out here that don't even have that. So you can't even get upset. You can't even be mad. You blessed, and you don't even know it. You talking about, well, this person made me mad. Okay, why get upset? My grandma used to say to me, "Why you get upset about something you can't change?"
Yes.
If you could change it, you ain't gonna be upset. So
right.
if you can't change it, why get upset? That go to anybody. Why get upset about something you can't change? If a person's being ignorant, hey, you can't change them. Walk away. You don't gotta indulge in a conversation with them because guess what? They're gonna be ignorant. They're gonna want to fight. That's what they want. That's what they're looking for. To get into a fight. You don't got to be the person that's to say, you know what? You want to fight? Let's fight. Nah, walk away. So look, it was a pleasure to have you guys. I'm definitely gonna reach out to you guys. I'm gonna share. I'm gonna email you guys and information, and we definitely gonna link up again, and we gonna do this again. I am so happy that you guys stopped by and blessed us with your presence. And listen, it's an honor to be here with you guys. I'm serious. I'm not being funny. It is definitely an honor to be here with you guys. I'm just small. I'm small potatoes. Y'all big.
No.
Hello, I'm being serious. I'm
Cut it out. Cut it out.
Oh, I'm pouring on the gravy.
Yeah, you are. I told you something else. I told you.
You could tell. You could tell.
Man,
right. It's all. Listen, before we go, can I read this poem that's in the back of my book?
Of course.
Okay, so we're talking about healing. So the title of the poem is "The Image I See." When you look in the mirror, what do you see? I see an image staring back at me. I see the hurt, the pain, and the despair, like no one wants me or even cares. Can I get rid of the scars? Can I get rid of the fears? Can I move forward past the image I see? Because I don't like what's staring back at me. I see all the mistakes I made, wishing I could take them back one day. Maybe it will change the person I am because I can't accept the person I see. But to become the person I ought to be, I have to pray for wisdom to accept what I cannot change. Because the image staring back at me, I no longer want to be. Now I understand who I am and whose I am. I understand that I'm to remain beautifully flawed. However, I am no longer living in self-condemnation. I love my position, even though my condition has not changed. I am no longer the same. Now I am the image I see. I know it's to be a beautiful, strong, and anointed woman, you see. My confidence is on another level because my Bible tells me to resist the devil. So I can no longer accept the deception of the false perception that I was a rejection. My reality has changed and I'm no longer the same. For you see, I love the image of me. I am beautifully flawed and gracefully damaged. The image staring back at me, I finally like what I see. I understand that I have a purpose-driven life that is much bigger than me. That's in back of my book.
Yeah.
I know, right?
That's my friend right there. That's my friend.
I know that's
And
real.
if you want to see more of her, you can catch her in Atlanta, Memphis, and Charlotte on the 8 City Book Tour, Voices on Paper. You should join us out there. You guys should join us in New York City.
When you coming to New York City?
You got
In
tickets.
New York City.
Huh?
Yeah, you got tickets. You can come if you're able to come June 13th or 14th into New York City. You got 2 free tickets for each of you to come join us on tour.
I'm gonna email you. I'm locked there. That's my second home. So yeah, I'm coming. When it comes to support, I'm there. I don't play around with that because you know what? That's what I definitely want people to do for me. So you got to put the work in. You got to support others so others can support you. So I'm definitely there. And look, you see, I'm excited. I will be there. Trust me when I tell you. I'm gonna get all the information. I'm gonna be there. You said June. I'm gonna clear my schedule. I'm coming. I'll be right there.
Amen.
So, lady, and I'll try my best to work on Lady T so she can attend.
Yes.
I'm so excited about that. I'm serious. Like you guys are going to actually I'll actually meet you guys. Listen, I don't know if y'all gonna be up in the skybox and I ain't gonna be able to reach y'all or nothing like that. Y'all
Now,
gonna be like that?
now I'm not coming to New York. I'll be at Charlotte,
be
Memphis,
yeah.
and Atlanta, but she'll be in New York.
Okay, I'm still coming. Hey, look. Now you gonna be where? Where you gonna be?
Charlotte, Memphis, and Atlanta.
Where you gonna be in Charlotte?
The 20th, the 19th and 20th.
Of what?
June.
Of June. Oh no, that's too soon. Because I'm gonna be down in Charlotte. That's why I'm going to Charlotte. I'm going to Charlotte in August though.
Oh.
Yeah. But look, since you down in Atlanta, that's what we working on. We working on that trip right there.
And Sarah's supposed to be moving to Atlanta.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then
They're even closer. Look at the friendship growing together.
Gonna grow.
Yes.
Listen, all right, ladies, we're gonna be out of here, and we will see you guys next week. Ladies, hold on.